I was skeptical when Scott Pilgrim EX was unveiled. As much as Scott Pilgrim vs. the World the game has earned its following, I feared that there wasn't much more that could be done with this type of game, particularly when developer Tribute Games wants to stick with the retro-inspired vibes so religiously. Now, having gotten my hands on Scott Pilgrim EX at Gamescom, I can confidently say that those doubts have been put to rest. This isn't just a few extra levels for the first game, but a true sequel with new ways to play, a new structure, and perhaps most excitingly of all, new dialogue overseen by series creator Brian Lee O'Malley himself.
Scott, Ramona, and some friendly evil exes are back.
On the surface, this is much the same as the first game. Up to 4 players go through stages, beating up enemies. The controls are much the same as we're used to, although the devs tell me that there was an active effort to balance the game for those who want to go in button mashing and players who want to learn all the combos. However, it won't be exactly as you remember, because we're getting new characters. During the demo, I got to see Roxy and Lucas in action, with the rest of the roster still under wraps. With that in mind, I'd wager that these two won't be the only new characters, and it remains to be seen if the original fighters will be playable. Once again, everyone has their own special move too, in the form of a support character. I didn't notice a whole lot of effect from Roxy's, but Lucas's summoned a bunch of stunt doubles that stunned everyone, and that was a huge help. Thankfully, you can choose whichever special move you want, so you're not locked into the one specific to your character.
I'm not sure how I feel about one of Scott Pilgrim EX's changes.
The first major change I noticed from the original was with the stages. During my time with Scott Pilgrim EX, we didn't brawl our way through any long stages to get to the boss battle at the end. Rather, we hopped into a stage, took out some enemies, and then hopped back to the hub area. It was all over very quickly. This is in aid of the new gameplay loop, which involves exploring the areas, backtracking, and completing objectives. So there's more going on here than just beating people up, but that is what many of us come to a beat 'em up for. Given that I only saw part of the game, I can't say whether or not those long-running stages are completely absent from the sequel, only that what I did play had a very different, more fast-paced feel to it. We didn't stay in any one location for long, and there was a lot of stopping and starting, although I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. But if there's one thing I am certain about, it's that this is a labor of love from Scott Pilgrim fans, and fits perfectly into the Scott Pilgrim renaissance we've seen in recent years. EX especially works as a follow-up to Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. The dialogue feels like it could come from the comics, and nothing brought a smile to my face more than Roxy being almost solely fixated on fighting enemies and kissing girls. Same here, you lesbian icon. Ultimately, Scott Pilgrim EX has proven that a sequel has potential. I can't wait to get my hands on the full game next year and get yet another new Scott Pilgrim story. Once again, with less Scott and more of the X's, if I have anything to say about it.